We're going to start the trailer inspection or Form C. Header board, properly mounted and secured, no damage, all rivets are in place. We have two marker lights that are amber in color. They're properly mounted and secured, not cracked or damaged, and we confirm that they work during the exterior light check. We have DOT reflective tape that is properly mounted and secured, covering at least 50% of the side of the trailer. And we're going to look at our landing gear here. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not damaged in any way. There's no illegal welds. It is fully raised, and the crank handle is secure in the cradle there. We have a turn signal right down here. It's amber in color, properly mounted and secured, not cracked or broken. We confirmed that it worked during our exterior light check. Asks for a left-hand turn, as well as a four-way. It works as a four-way as well. The trailer frame underneath, as well as the cross members and the frame, is all properly mounted and secured. No damage, no illegal welds to the frame. And all the air lines and fittings, hoses and fittings underneath here are properly mounted and secured, and they're not leaking. The air tank is in the back there, and it's properly mounted and secured. It's not leaking. All lines and fittings to and from the air tank are properly mounted and secured, and they're not leaking. The torsion bar is right here. It's connected to the spring mounts at the bottom on either side. There's a torsion bar on each side. They're properly mounted and secured, and there's no damage or no illegal welds on those. The spring mounts, front and rear, properly mounted and secured. All bolts are in place, no illegal welds. And the springs themselves are properly mounted and secured, not missing any leaves, no scissoring, no gaps or damage. The U-bolts are properly mounted and secured, and all the bolts are in place, and there's no damage or illegal welds on those. The tandem axle sliding, tandem axle sliding rail is this thing. It's properly mounted and secured, and all the bolts and all the pins are in place, and there's no damage and there's no illegal welds to that. Then we're going to go to the brake chamber, which is properly mounted and secured. It's not leaking. All air hoses and fittings to and from the brake chamber are properly mounted and secured, and they're not leaking. Push rod and slack adjuster is properly mounted and secured. There's no more than 1 inch of play in the slack adjuster when the brakes are released. When we look at our brake drums and liners, they're properly mounted and secured, free of dirt, oil, and grease. There's sufficient life left on the liners. We're going to check our bud spacing again here. Properly mounted and secured. The wheels are seated together properly, and there's no debris in the bud spacing. Then we're going to look at our tire sidewalls, free of abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Tire tread depth is at least 2/32 of an inch, which we check with a tire tread depth gauge. And our tire makes a good bead or seal to the rim and is not leaking. The rim is properly mounted and secured. No damage, no illegal welds to that. Lug nuts are all in place. There's no rough streaks or shiny threads indicating a loose lug nut. Our valve stem's properly mounted and secured, and it's not leaking. And that's where we check our tire pressure using a tire pressure gauge. Also where we add air if the tire were low. Hub seal, properly mounted and secured, is not leaking. We'll remove this grommet to check our grease level in the hub. If it were low, we'd add grease there too as well. It's also not leaking. So from there, we come back to our mud flap, which is properly mounted and secured. It is the right size for the vehicle. Our door tie out is properly mounted and secured. It's not damaged. Then we have our ABS light, which is red in color, properly mounted and secured, not cracked or broken. This light comes on to alert us that the ABS system is not working on the trailer. Then we come around to the trailer door and hinges, properly mounted and secured, not damaged. And we've got our door seal, which is properly mounted and secured and not leaking. Our DOT tape's properly mounted and secured, covers 100% of the back of the trailer. We have 4 rear trailer lights, red in color, properly mounted and secured, not cracked or broken. We confirmed that they work during the exterior light check, asking for a left turn, right turn, 4-way, and brakes. We have 3 marker lights that are red in color, properly mounted and secured, not cracked or damaged. We confirmed that they work during the exterior light check. Also, the bumper is properly mounted and secured and not damaged. And that concludes our trailer inspection.